Hi, and welcome back to week 6 of Monday Diaries. If you're new here, my name is Brian, and I'm a 24-year-old aerospace engineer. I'm documenting my life every week to share what I'm working on and what I'm thinking about. Hopefully the lessons I share that I've learned will be valuable and helpful to you. A couple of weeks ago, I had mentioned that I was struggling to focus at work, and I think that I had come close to turning the corner by really focusing on how to prioritize my tasks. And this was helpful for a while. I felt like I was doing a lot less reactive work, but it seems that I've regressed some this week and have been feeling a lot of stress as a result. I've gotten to the point where I really need to learn how to tell people no, or just communicate that something will have to be done at a later time, and just be realistic with people. Honestly, our team is stretched pretty thin at the moment, but I have a tendency to want to always help people, and it hurts to say, no, I can't do this right now. Also, I've been dealing with some interpersonal things and trying to get used to working on a new team and learning how to employ strategies that I read about in books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and The 48 Laws of Power. Learning about how to implement those in my interpersonal relationships. I think I'm sort of at the point in my career where learning to work with people effectively is going to be a huge amount of leverage and can take me far if I figure this out. So I'm relishing in the challenge, but we'll have to get back with you on the progress. As I've mentioned in previous weeks, my focus outside of work has been to try and get involved in climate machine learning projects. And as a part of this, I'm trying to develop sort of a climate machine learning master's unofficial degree, which I have posted on my GitHub. And to be able to dive in and devote 100% of my energy outside of work into this, last week I was focusing on wrapping up some outstanding items. One of these was a blog on perfectionism, because over the past 2 years, I've learned a lot transitioning from a dreamer to somebody who actually accomplishes things. Secondly, I've been building a very tiny utility, but a very useful one that converts the output from ChatGPT into a format that looks nice in Apple Notes because it understands the formatting. I use both of these tools a lot, and Apple Notes is sort of my second brain, so building this utility has really helped me save a lot of time and hopefully will help others do the same. Lastly, the thing that I didn't quite get to finishing is my first climate machine learning project. I've been analyzing one of the glaciers in Iceland that I visited with my mom 5 years ago, and am deploying a long-term short memory model to try and make predictions about the glacier's future behavior. Ultimately, this project hasn't turned out to be a huge success, but I have learned a lot and have identified a lot of gaps in my knowledge. And this is one of the ideas that I have with perfectionism, is that you have to complete something. This is my number one rule. And completing something can be as simple as documenting your failures. So I'm actually working on a post about this and hope to move on from that soon. After I finish that post, I'm planning on diving in headfirst into the climate machine learning master's curriculum that I've created for myself. I hope that through the next week, I can maybe get some feedback from others on the course's outline and begin to work my way through some of the syllabus. And my one idea for the week is actually a question. So for a little bit of backstory, I used to follow baseball quite closely. I was a Dodgers fan because this gave me and my grandfather something to bond over and talk about when I called him on the phone. And he passed away a handful of years ago. So while I really did enjoy watching the baseball and talking to him about it, I'm not holding on to that hobby for sentimental value. And this is the question: are your hobbies and routines that you practice still serving you? And I think it's valuable to every once in a while sort of tear down your whole routine and build it back up again, sort of questioning each thing that you're doing and spending your time on, making sure that you're super intentional and serving your ultimate goals in life. This could be extended to people or certain relationships that you have that aren't really serving you anymore. It's time to get rid of those. Also, hobbies that don't really provide value to you or aren't as fun. It's time to get rid of those. Beliefs about health practices and things that you're doing for your routine. Is spending an hour on the perfect healthy morning routine really working for you, or would you be better off if you spent an hour writing and trying to build a community or sharing your thoughts online with others? An analogy that I like to think of for this question is plants or flowers, if you have any house plants. When a leaf turns brown or a portion of your plant begins to die, it's time to trim that off, because mentally your mindset changes when you see only living things around you. When you start to see dead things around you, it affects your outlook on the world. So don't keep carrying around that baggage. So to celebrate the Dodgers' recent World Series win, I'm reflecting back on that chapter of my life. It's come to a close, and that's okay. I've intentionally cut this out as it's no longer serving my long-term goals. With that, I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.